you were able to uncover a lot of potential waste, fraud, and abuse with Medicaid. And since Medicaid makes up possibly the biggest part of the budget, I think it's like 39% of the budget, roughly. So this is big news, and I wanted to dive into that a little bit. So am I right in saying that you uncovered about possibly $6 billion in waste, fraud, and abuse with Medicaid?
Yeah, it could amount to that much. We're really waiting to get some additional responses back from the Ohio Department of Medicaid at this point. But if you extrapolate the numbers that we have received back from a contractor that they use, we think it could potentially be that much.
I want to show you this here. Let me bring this up here for a second. Oversees it. So it's part of the Attorney General office. And I get a kick out of it because it's like, well, how much are they actually catching? So if we're saying that there could be a total of $6 billion in waste and fraud and abuse and everything else, how much are they actually catching? And if you go down to that bottom paragraph right there, in 2024, they had 1,150 allegations of fraud, abuse, 116 indictments, 129 criminal convictions, 54 civil settlements, and they recovered $17 million in restitution and penalties. And I laugh at that because $17 million, and we're saying that it's probably close to $6 billion, right? So they're obviously missing a lot of the waste, fraud, and abuse.
So on April 10th, we sent a letter over to a contractor called LexisNexis, and they are one of, I think, a number of contractors that are used around the country for asset verification by various state departments of Medicaid. In this case, Ohio uses this one, and we asked them to go through their Medicaid eligibility verification data in this letter. And so they responded back a couple of weeks later, and they found a 29% failure rate among verified enrollees in the system. So that amounts to, if you take about $2,000 in benefits and then extrapolate that over a year and then multiply it by the number that are enrolled in this part of the system, that's where we get the $6.3 billion in potential waste from. Interestingly enough, and the asset limit that's in place in terms of a liquid asset limit, so we're talking about checking and savings accounts, and LexisNexis has access to like 88% of all U.S. bank accounts. So it's a verifiable source in terms of the numbers that we're talking about here. But if you look at the numbers they provided back to us, and $2,000 is the limit above which you're not supposed to receive this benefit, over 4,000 recipients had over $100,000 in liquid assets, and 12 recipients had over $1 million in the bank. So those are the most egregious examples that were found in the data that came back to us.
All right. Well, it's something to get the conversation going, right, Brian?
Yeah, may I have some questions, Joe?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Representative Villitz. When you start giving us some statistics, I'm very, very interested in this. Now, when you say there's, you said $6 billion out of the $30 billion. Is this the $30 billion? Is this money, federal money received by the state of Ohio to be used for Medicaid?
And my main concern entering this oversight process was that the people who need to receive these benefits, and that population does exist, should be getting the dollars that are coming their way and not have them diluted by folks who have no business receiving this benefit at all.
Yeah, there's massive fraud with the whole Medicaid thing, and it's not just people that have too many assets like you're talking. It's also the nursing homes, it's the hospitals, these providers that just keep jacking up the price. They overcharge for everything, prescription drugs, you name it. It all gets overcharged, and they make a lot of this right here, a lot of money off of Medicaid because the state then is reimbursing them. That's excellent. Yeah, I mean, you're doing a great job. And yeah, kudos to Strongsville and Shannon Burns. They do an excellent job. Fantastic. spend a whole show talking about that if we wanted to. I want to just meander into this whole idea with property taxes for a second here, because Mike, I want to get your take, and Brian, you're going to get a kick out of this. Listen to
We
this.
have a property tax crisis in this state. Things are out of control, partly because of that inside millage and how out of whack it went with the recent assessments.